From Daniel Studios in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's the Dennis Daniel Show. Tonight's guest, voice actor Todd Haberkorn. And your announcer, me, Belldandy. And now, here's your host. He is Cincinnati's next big radio personality, Mr. Dennis Daniel.
Boys and girls and children of all ages, you have tuned in to the hottest talk show on Blog Talk Radio. I am talking, of course, of The Dennis Daniel Show. I am your host. I am the ultimate talk show host and the only symmetrical talk show host on Blog Talk Radio, Dennis Daniel. And folks, I'm excited because we continue the Summer of Biggerness 3. And the road to Otakon with a wonderful installment of the Dennis Daniel Show, once again emanating to you from prime time. And of course, you know, summer's getting hotter, it's getting wilder, it's getting crazier. We're about halfway through the summer, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be, you know, flattening out over the next couple of weeks, because we're going full throttle, no holds barred. All stop to bring you the best interviews that we can. And tonight on the Dennis Daniel Show, we have got none other than voice actor supreme, Todd Haberkorn. Or Todd Haberdashery. Or Todd Habitual Cleanliness. No, Todd, okay. Todd Haberkorn. Okay. Todd Haberkorn. That's what they're telling me he's called. These kids today with their incredibly complex names and whatnot. But anyway, for those of you who may not know Todd Haberkorn, you might have heard him in a lot of very popular anime. He's very well known as Death the Kid from The Soul Eater, which you can catch every Saturday at 1:30 on Toonami on Cartoon Network. And I gotta say, Death the Kid, he's the son of Lord Death, who is, overall controller of Death. So the first question that pops up is, how could Death Incarnate have a kid? I don't know. You also know him best as Alan Walker from D.Gray Man. Is he the man? Yeah, he is the man. He's D.Gray Man. And you also know him well as Italy from the very popular Hetalia Axis Powers, which, by the way, seasons 1 and 2, the complete series, now available from Funimation. And before I continue on, I've been asked to read a little thing from Germany here. To all listeners, please refrain from having Italy scared senseless. I don't want to clean up his messes when he comes home later tonight. We'll try, Germany. I'm not going to make any promises because I don't know how these fangirls are gonna react if Italy gets on here and starts talking. It could be a meltdown. It could be an explosion. I guess we'll find out when we start. But anyway, like with all our great guests, I've put together a small demo reel of some of the coolest roles that Mr. Haberkorn has done. So let's take a quick look at what makes Todd so cool.
Body paint.
Kid alien, that's ridiculous. I'm just a normal Picapodian frog creature that talks because of magic wonder dust. And may also be a dragon or the pendulum of a cuckoo clock. Invade your planet.
No, can't be a toddler. It's not smart enough.
Kiddo. You misappreciate my spectacularosity. You may have got lucky against me, but wait until I light the beacon. The frog invasion will not feel comfortable.
Unlike the terry cloth invasion of 2042, which will actually feel quite luxurious. Just saying.
Just look, Patty! Your stance is off again. The two of you aren't in a line.
I'm sorry, kid.
Kid, do you really think now is the time to be worrying about that?
Yes, I do. I want it to be perfect every time. Symmetry is key. Everything must be aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, wonderful. Here we go.
That's why I use the two of you as twin pistols in order to preserve symmetry. When I hold you both, I'm completely balanced on the right and left. It isn't perfect because your human forms are so different from each other, though. Your hairstyles and height, for example. Even your boobs are different sizes.
Excuse me for being smaller than my little sister. What right do you have to talk about symmetry anyway? 3 stripes on the left side of your hair and none on the right? That doesn't look symmetrical to me.
You're right, I'm an abomination. I'm filthy and dirty and unbalanced. Why is there only one set of stripes? I'm garbage. Asymmetrical garbage. I deserve to die.
Yeah, and here we go.
Okay, good work, guys.
Why, what are you so chipper about?
You guys have got some pretty impressive skills. I know, come work for me and together we can take over this country. What do you say?
I've had enough of your idiotic chattering. Just go back to Shing.
Look, there they are. Huh? Look at the mess you've made. You've practically destroyed our town.
You're covering the damages. And your restaurant bill, too.
Hey, wait, just hold on a second. This guy and his little entourage should be paying for everything.
So sorry, I don't understand much language of this country. Okay, bye-bye now.
Hey, you get the hell back here!
What's all the fuss about?
Conda! I'll explain it later, but we need to stop this robot! It would be a lot easier if we knew what its weakness was.
Only an amateur wouldn't be able to see its weak spot.
Huh?
I had the joy of destroying a very similar robot to this in the past.
So where's its weak point? Just tell me!
Hit it in the scruff, kid.
In its scruff. Got it. Wait! What the heck's scruff?
Well, that's a shame, isn't it? I guess it's your fate to die, huh?
You think you're funny, don't you, Conda?
Germany is a really, really nice place. Even though I'm your prisoner, you give me food, and it doesn't suck like English food. Sausages with cheeses always taste so good. It'd be heaven for a dog. Yeah, that's Germany. Tell me, how is it you Germans are so robust? You're crushing me with your intimidation. My fragility causes me to openly weep out of fear. Your women terrify me. Is it the norm to drink a barrel of beer and then bust it on somebody's head? Please don't come to my place in large mobs. German tourists are scary. Even the girls that are from Germany are more rugged than I am. Yahoo!
Yeah, Germany's a pretty scary place, with apologies to Germany. I'll tell you what, Hitalia's Germany makes Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes look like he actually knew what he was doing. But of course, you know, Todd has been in such incredible shows, and I can't do justice just talking about it. So that's why he's here on the program, to talk about all these awesome shows he's on. And if you're going to any big-time convention soon, he's going to be at Otakon in 2 weeks in Baltimore, Maryland, August 9th through 11th. So if you're going to Otakon in Baltimore, we know we've got our ticket punched, then you may get a chance to meet Mr. Haberdashery, or Mr. Habitual Cleanliness, or Mr. Haberdasher, or habiliments. See, this is the part where I call screwing with the guest. But maybe we should get him on here and get this puppy started. My guest tonight is a very popular voice actor who's best known as Alan Walker from D.Gray Man, Italy from Hetalia Axis Powers, and Death the Kid from The Soul Eater, which you can catch Saturday nights at 1:30 on Toonami. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Todd Haberkorn. Mr. Haberkorn, thank you and welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show.
Hello, that's the most musical entrance I've had all day.
Well, we that's kind of a staple here at the Dennis Daniels Show. We got to have music for the entries and everything. That just makes us a step above all the other fancy talk shows out there. So the question is, how are you doing today, Mr. Habanero?
I have been, let's see, I just entered my 11th hour of recording. I just finished it right before getting on with you, so my throat's, it's fierce. It's gotten its workout today.
Criminy, Jim, 11 hours? My gosh, you must be in high demand.
Well, I'm working on an audiobook right now that is based on a movie that just came out, and the publisher's trying to get it out along with the movie since it just came out. And I started a new show with a company today with Nickelodeon. I can't talk about which show, but I began that, and so I was doing that, and then some other stuff. So lots of recording, lots of good stuff going on. I'm very grateful for it and hope it continues.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Maybe we can talk about that audiobook a little bit later on in the program. But what got you interested in acting?
Well, I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I started off in musicals when I was 10, and I think it's because I was raised by movies and toys and my imagination, because I don't have any brothers or sisters, and I come from primarily a single parent home, so I think it was just in my blood to just kind of play and use my imagination, and that easily transferred over into the acting world and the various different aspects of that. So I had a great time doing it as a kid, and I was like, well, why not make it a job? So that kind of became my path for life.
Well, that sounds like a pretty sweet path to be taken, Mr. Haberkorn. And of course, you've been in all kinds of great programs and different things throughout your life. But of course, you had to, learn how to be an actor and improv and all that stuff. So, do you have some kind of education in acting?
Oh yeah, of course I went to college for it, specifically for theater acting. Now there's not a degree in voiceover, but I get that gets asked of me a lot. But I focused on theatrical acting. I've trained in the field, just doing films and television and commercials and stage acting, like I mentioned, voiceover acting. So in addition to being trained and taking it in high school and taking it in middle school and elementary school, and also doing it in the field, I've had the pleasure of having a lot of hours under my belt of training in this arena. Doesn't mean I know it all. There's always something to learn, but I feel like I've got a little bit of a good base to work from.
Well, you're always willing to learn with every new experience you do, and I think, and we've talked about this with many different voice actors on the show, if you're willing to learn while you're still going through the journey, then you're a lot better off than a lot of people who assume that they've learned everything jumping right into the voice acting industry head first. So you do seem like you are on top of things here, Todd.
Well, I'll tell you, unfortunately, you learn the most from failing, and nobody likes to fail, but it's like, oh man, I guess you got to do it just to learn more. So that part's not fun, but getting to do things like cool audiobooks and stuff, that's some of the byproduct of that. So hey, bring it on, I say.
Yeah. With the sudden popularity of audiobooks, voice actors are now needed, and now with guys like you and Chris Sabat and Eric Stewart and Laura Bailey, you don't have to just show your talents with a moving cartoon character. Now you can read these classic books, War and Peace, Romeo and Juliet, The Art of War.
Gray.
Yeah, so another outlet to make that money.
Yeah, well, it's really good training, and it really takes a fierce amount of concentration because, we're sitting there recording these books for sometimes 8 hours a day. And so it's to be able to keep all the characters straight in your head and having to go from them back and forth on the fly. I feel like it's the kind of theater of voice acting as far as training, because for being an actor, being on stage is like really good for the muscles. The acting muscles, and so I feel like this just helps me in other voice acting arenas.
Yeah, well, I've never been able to open a book longer than 8 hours, so you've certainly got my attention with these audiobooks. I'm going to have to try one out, so maybe after the show you can tell me a couple of the books you're in, and we can I can look them up and hear the awesomeness that is Todd Haberkorn on audio form.
While I'm thinking about it right now, because everyone is on the zombie craze and everyone loves zombies, there's one called Fiend that just came out from Random House, and that's one I would recommend for people. It's not a kid's book, but it's pretty fun. If you want to check one out.
Okay, well, I will definitely give it a consideration. blogtalkradio.com. This is the Dennis Daniel Show. We've got Todd Haberkorn on the air, best known as Death the Kid from The Soul Eater, and Alan Walker from D.Gray Man. Now, of course, before, doing the whole anime hoopla, and even I can't believe that this existed. One of your earliest acting roles was Mr. Knickerbocker from the popular Barney movie, Let's Make Music. What was it like working on the movie and getting to work alongside an iconic childhood character like Barney the dinosaur?
Well, that was a lot of fun because everybody grew up with Barney from my generation, and getting to share kind of the stage with them and also to see kind of his other friends like Baby Bop and such, and to see them with their heads off and see who's underneath was a really surreal experience, because you've got Baby Bop dancing around this yellow cute dinosaur, and then Baby Bop takes her head off, and it's this middle-aged kind of gruff and tough dwarf guy underneath. So it was a really it was a change of pace for me. They're very nice guys, and they're wearing like their ice vest to keep them cool in the suit, and just to see how all the mechanics work and see that Barney is one person in the Barney suit, but there's another person that does the voice, and kind of seeing the recipe for how it all comes together was a lot of fun.
And the vision of Barney just got killed in the back of my mind. So, that's got to be kind of scary, Todd. Seeing again, I think we could chalk that one up to the childhood ruined meme. My gosh.
It was pretty surreal to be there, and to you're thinking you're interacting with just like like a little kid or something. At the very least, if you're going to be this girl dinosaur, I'm thinking there's a girl in there, and then the head pops up. It's like, hey, how you doing? It's like, oh, okay, all right, we're dealing with something a little different here. So they were really nice guys, though.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy for dinosaurs coming from our imagination. I don't know what kind of hell imagination these kids have. Okay, yeah. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that one. That's just so screwed up, but it's so funny. Yeah. Oh, okay. Come on, we gotta pull this train back on the tracks. But of course, Mr. Knickerbocker, this very tall individual, and I saw a cosplayer a couple of months ago at a convention, and she did the character, and she had these stilts. Now, I've never seen Mr. Knickerbocker before, but I assume that you had to wear incredibly tall stilts like them, right?
Yeah, when I was on the stilts, I was 9 feet tall. And what was cool about it was Mr. Knickerbocker's always been sung about, but he's never been seen on camera. So this is the first time he was seen on camera, and so we had talked about putting him on stilts and things like that. And I come from a background of stilt walking from other things that I've done in life, and so it was just kind of a natural. I didn't audition for the part. They just called me and asked me if I wanted to do it. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, well, I guess the whole still experience kind of added to the appeal, and bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a role walking as a guy with a really tall hat, very, very flashy jacket, and you're singing about making music.
Yeah, making music and talking about the Pickle Palace. So, not a bad thing.
Musical Palace. That's so. Oh, that does sound like Barney. So, of course, diving into the world of anime, one of your very earliest known roles was, of course, Hikaru Hitachin from the Ouran High School Host Club, and I've talked with all you girls about this host club where the girls can get hit on by these guys, and they're in high school, and of course your character, Hikaru Hitachin. So, what was it like working on this series, and what did you think of your character Hikaru?
Whenever we work on these shows, I don't know any of the fanfare that surrounds the shows. Very rarely do I know about what fans think about the shows beforehand. Very rare instances of like Sergeant Frog. I knew people were really jazzed about that. But with this show, I approached it like any other role. It was a little odd playing an incestuous, kind of semi-incestuous twin brother. That was the first. But I thought the show is very intelligent, and there's a reason that it's endured this many years is because of that intelligence and the imagination, and I think everybody's performances are really great in it. I had a great time doing it. It's I can't think of a time when very rarely can I think of a time when I'm in the booth where I didn't just enjoy the hell out of doing it. And this show was no exception. It was a blast, and working with everyone and seeing coming in later in the process, because with Greg, who played my twin, either I would record first or he would record, and then we'd have to come in and match each other. So just the way the recording schedule worked out, I was able to come in and hear everybody else in it, and so it was a real treat for me in the booth.
Yeah, well, working alongside Greg Ayers, first off, the guy is awesome, and this just seems like a character that I think he would excel as, just because he's just got that personality that's just so unique, and I think you two, paired together, especially with these two characters who, they're kind of, crazy. I mean, any set of twins that dresses up as girls as children, they aren't exactly going to be, right in the head. So I think that, from what I've heard, you two played these off, twin brothers, but you had from what I've also seen, you guys were pretty good in this.
Yeah, I mean, everyone seems to be very positive about it, and folks continue to support the show, and I'm happy to be in the legacy of the host club, and if there's another season, I'd be happy to come back and reprise the role.
But would you ever consider cosplaying Hikaru? That's the question.
I would do that. That's a little lower on my list. I want to cosplay as I've got, at Otakon, I'll be the Man of Steel. I've got. I think Death the Kid is going to be before Hikaru. He's definitely on the list.
I actually just saw a photo of you on your website, teamhaberkorn.com, cheap pop, and you were dressed as Edward, and I'm like, well, let's see, wait, but Vic is Edward. Why would Todd be dressing as it? So, I'm just so of course I would have been surprised. I was surprised. I thought you would have dressed as Ling Yao.
Oh, yeah, that was actually the very first cosplay was Ling. I did that at ACEN one year when we debuted who Ling was going to be voiced by in Brotherhood. I dressed as Ed for a video that I made in the Tribute Wars against Vic. So that's why I was in the Ed jacket. I did see part of that at MatsuiCon last year, and I saw the video, and that was pretty funny. But it's really cool that you and Vic, you're such great friends that you do these this tennis match of tribute videos back and forth with each other, and it's basically you poke fun at each other, but of course it's all in good nature. If you can't laugh at yourself, then who can you laugh at? And you know what they say? They only tribute vid the ones they love. That's right. That's totally true. Now we've combined our efforts, and we're working together, of course, on sci-fi projects. So, yeah, it's all in good fun.
And we'll talk about one of those sci-fi projects later on in the program. But of course, let's get into some of the modern stuff that you're in. And right now, I think one of the most popular characters that you've done in the most recent time is, of course, Death the Kid from The Soul Eater, which you can catch Saturdays at 1:30 a.m. on Toonami on Cartoon Network. Of course, the show, was started in 2010. Of course, Soul Eater just now finding its way to Toonami. So what was it like working on the show, and what do you think of your character, not only being the son of Death incarnate, but kind of having a unique twerk about him?
I feel like with that show, that's a really fun role. What a great storyline in that show, and it's got so much character, and I feel like it's very honed One Piece with all the craziness going on. And that's definitely a show that I feel like we should totally revisit for more episodes. And I've talked to the Japanese producer of that show a couple times and asked him, hey, please, make more. So we'll see what he does. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I am certainly down for more Soul Eater.
Todd, I could not agree with you anymore, because I just got done watching the ending of Soul Eater, and it left so many questions in the air. Does Black Star surpass God? Does Tsubaki finally get the courage to tell Black Star to shut the hell up? Does Death overcome his obsessive compulsive disorder and having everything symmetrical? Do Patty and Selma finally get body shapes that match each other to his likes? Does Dr. Stein get his sanity? And do we even meet Maka's mom? All these questions are unanswered, and everyone's going to go, okay, you need to read the manga, Dennis. I don't want to read the manga. I want to watch another anime. So that's why, Todd, there has to be Soul Eater Part 2. So get to working. Come on, Japan.
After this interview, we're going to Japan, and we're going to make this happen.
We are. You know what? We're going to have to do a video at Otakon if we can get an interview with you telling Japan that they have to start cranking out more Soul Eater because there were so many questions left in the air at the end of the series that that need to be answered by these people. Like another question, does Death Scythe finally get with a woman? Does everyone finally realize that Blair the Sexy Kitty is nothing more than an animal slut? There are so many questions that have not been answered by Soul Eater that need to be answered before the anime populace is satisfied.
I agree. Totally.
Hang on, gotta catch my breath there. Ooh, okay. Moving along from Death the Kid, and if we don't talk about this, the fangirls are going to attack us at Otakon, Todd. We gotta talk a little bit about this crazy show called Hetalia. And I hear this show is popular. I don't know. What do you hear, Todd? Do you hear this show is popular for some reason?
You know, that's the one show that, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know what people would think of it, but they sure do love Hetalia. And again, it's another show that I'm just so happy to be a part of. And what a weird show. I mean, who would have thought that a 5-minute episode type show would work? And it totally does. And I've gotten so many letters from fans all over the world talking about how it's inspired them to focus more in class when it comes to the history section of things. And I've gotten so much fan mail just from Hetalia alone that's really been incredible.
Who here doesn't love Italy? Because Italy is just, Italy, you feel bad for Italy, but you realize due to his bringing up, kind of deserve it, Italy should have played ball. But anyway, of course, you voice Italy, which I think is just awesome. So what was it like working on Hetalia? Oh, and by the way, seasons 1 and 2 of the complete series now available on DVD from Funimation. You should be watching. So what's it like voicing Italy, and what do you think of his character?
Well, first I was actually England for the whole first season, so I recorded the whole show as England first. And then when the voice actor that was playing England left the role, there was an interview process. Playing Italy left the role. They had a hole to fill, and so they approached me and actually a couple of the voice actors to try out for Italy. But at the end of the day, after weeks and weeks of auditioning and multiple times going in and recording a little bit here, a little bit there for it, the decision was handed down that I would take over Italy. And working on the show, the biggest note that I kept getting from the director was just faster. So faster, faster, faster. So what you hear in the show is not anything sped up. It's just me talking super fast.
I could not do that myself. So more props to you for doing that. But when I think about how it's set around World War II, I remember, this was the axis of evil. These guys were oppressing all these countries. They were attacking America. But then you watch Hetalia and you see that Italy is just abused, mistreated, and tortured throughout that show. So you're kind of thinking, maybe Italy wasn't really that much of a bad guy in World War II. Maybe it was just Germany and Japan that were the dicks. I don't know. So it made me really kind of rethink the whole Italy thing. But I felt bad for Italy. But of course, there were just so many things in there that just made that show funny. And I think we played one. It was the Italy song, and man, you guys hit the nail on pretty much every head in that song. The women, the beer, it's racist, but what are you going to do about it?
And it's musical. I mean, there you go. That's the best part.
And it's musical. There you go. It's musical. It's racist. It's musicalcist. That's yeah.
That was a hard song to actually do because on the left side of the headphones, I was having the Japanese song playing in the original Japanese. On the right side was Brina Palencia, who laid down a scratch track for it, and then in both parts of the headphone was my voice trying to sing it. So it was an interesting recording process.
Yeah, well, both of you did great as Italy. For those who don't know, Brina Palencia was Little Italy, or as I call her, Littly. So, and then
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, but of course, not taking anything away from you, Mr. Haberkorn, because all the most abusive stuff that comes from adult Italy, and that's I can't even begin to describe how bad I felt for Italy in the show. It was like, oh my gosh, just this poor guy. He's just getting attacked by Germany and Japan, and all he wants is Germany to love him. And of course, Germany too thick-headed and thinking about the war, and it's just so terrible, and I feel so bad, and all my feelings. Oh,
nothing that a bowl of pasta won't cure. So,
and pizza and pasta and wine beer drunken out of a high heel boot for some vague and unknown reason. But hey, that's Italy. Hey, Italy, haters gonna hate. So right there. And of course, Paint It White, the very popular movie, which I thought was really cool too. Italy ending up, somewhat saving the day. Then you had Big Brother Romano saving that, and I never got what Romano was. And then I'm not saying anything bad about the performance by an awesome Christopher Sabat, but I know essentially Italy is the star of the show. I mean, it's Hetalia. Come on, Italia, Italy, Italia,
yeah.
Right there. He's the star of the show. So, and as much as I hate that America wasn't the star of the show, Italy was the star of the show, and I thought was, great job. I loved it. I really wish that they made more. I know after the first 2 seasons there was the World Series. And is there any? Could there be any more by chance on the horizon, or is that it for the Hetalia?
There is a season 5. I don't know. I can't comment on whether or not we're going to be doing it, but I would suspect that we will, since seasons 1 through 4 did so well for us. So we'll see what happens, but I hope so.
All right. So season 5 of Hetalia needs to get done. A second season of Soul Eater, and we got
a lot on our plate. We got to get handled here.
Oh, definitely. And of course, another awesome show that I thought was fairly cool was D.Gray Man. So who was the man? Well, you, Todd, D.Gray Man.
Yeah, that was a great show. I loved producing and directing and handling casting on that, etc. It was quite an immersive process that I got to be a part of with that show, as well as be in it, of course. So that show is very near and dear to my heart, and it's sad that we didn't get to finish it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what was it like playing Alan Walker and having this very unique character who pretty much was a walking and talking weapon? I've just seen a few episodes I'm a few episodes into the series. I'm sorry, shame on me. But this guy is just he's got this rough life. He's being attacked by vampires and all these freakishly huge monsters and a giant robot and all that stuff. And what's it like playing Alan and a character who's, like us, trying to find his way in life?
I just feel like with that show, it was very, I loved all the elements of it. I loved the action. I loved the supernatural elements. I loved the characters in it and the humor and also the mysticism. And so I think it was a perfect show that kind of was in the same vein of a Fullmetal, a Fullmetal Alchemist. So, I wish we could have finished it.
That just seems like a lot going on nowadays. You have these great shows. And we were talking with another voice actress, Kathy Westlook, a while back about this show called Cyber 6, which, never got...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was Cyber 6 in that show. And, you had a great storyline, great artwork, great characters, but there was a big fan push behind it, but a second season never got made. And it seems like with a lot of different shows nowadays, you've got the potential to be a great program, but and you can have the fan base behind you, but I guess when it comes down to it, if there's just not the money or the staff needed to produce the next season, it kind of goes the way of the dodo.
Yeah, it really boils down to fans supporting the show financially. People can cosplay it at cons all day long. They can love it all they want to, but if they don't buy it, then we don't make any more. So it's a very simple equation that a lot of fans seem to overlook. That's what they got to do. They have to support it. So as long as they're doing that, we're going to make more.
Yeah, that's another thing we talked about with some of our guests, the effects of piracy in the anime industry. Piracy, is the death of several very popular anime production agencies like Pioneer and Geneon. They went belly under because they couldn't afford to keep up in a piracy-filled world. So, do you have any advice for those who do want to, take part in trying to stop the piracy of anime in the United States, and maybe even have some advice for those who want to get the awesome anime but can't afford the $50, $60?
Well, anime has gotten a lot cheaper in the past couple of years because we try to listen to the fans. So it used to be for the cost of a 13-episode set. Now you get 4 episodes per disc. We were releasing anime a lot faster. We're releasing it in a lot more in bulk, and we're making it available in a lot more spots. I mean, it's streaming on Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crunchyroll, etc. There are a ton of options to see anime. So we're doing everything that we feasibly can to make this available for fans. We're doing everything that we can to still make it cost-effective to make at that price point. So I feel like we've done everything on our end. We just need the fans to do their part, which a lot of them are doing. But, for people that, it's like with any art form. I mean, if you love comic books, if you love music, you support those things financially. And we try to make things very attractive for fans by offering shows that we hear that they want, offering shows that, offering every season of it if we can. So we're doing our part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And, of course, with the awesome SAVE packs that Funimation releases, now it's even easier than ever to own your favorite series for a fraction of the cost, including such hits like Black Blood Brothers, Nabari no O, and even D.Gray Man. The complete first and second season are now available from Funimation for as low as $15. Available at Amazon.com. Trying to plug these. Buy the DVDs, guys. They're worth it. Well, anyway, of course, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. BlogTalkRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Todd Haberkorn on the air, best known as Alan Walker from D.Gray Man and Death the Kid from Soul Eater. Now, of course, outside of anime, you also do a lot of cool fan stuff, and we talked about it a little earlier in the program. I know that you and a guy by the name of Vic Mignogna, who we hope to have on in a couple of weeks ourselves, are working or have finished this project, and I don't know if I should talk about it or not. It's why don't you tell us a little bit about Star Trek Continues? I'm sure he can go into a lot of detail about it too. We have the largest recreation of the original series set in the world, and that's in great part thanks to Vic and the executive producers and Farragut Films, who are very, very integral in making that happen. Vic is like the ultimate Trekkie on steroids. No one knows more about Star Trek than he does. And so it's been a dream of his all his life to play Captain Kirk, and so he made this happen. And he's the driving force behind all this, and we're gearing up for the second episode. We have a lot of heavy hitters in our show. We've got Grandy Mahar from Mythbusters in our first episode. We've got the original Scotty's son, Chris Doohan, is our Scotty. So there's a lot of connection to the original series here through that, also through our first guest appearance of the first guest star in our first episode is Michael Forrest, who played the original Apollo. He reprised his role in our episode. We've got our guest star for the second episode picked out, but I can't say any more than that. But we start filming in October, and hopefully we'll have the episode ready to go by the beginning of the year. Awesome. And if your fans want to learn more about the awesomeness that Star Trek Continues, they can check out www.StarTrekContinues.com, which we'll link to on the All Taste Explosion website. And I'm looking at it now. You guys look pretty good, especially you, Mr. Spock.
Oh, thank you so much. That's 3 hours in the makeup chair every day, and that's not a wig. So I have to grow my hair out at a certain point in the year. So right now I'm growing it out. So we'll have to cut it to that length and style. And then it's 3 hours to get the ears on, and then 1 hour to take them off in the evening. And, yeah, we're going to be shooting the episode for probably 10 to 12 days. And so we have a lot of professional crew, a lot of professional cast members involved, a lot of equipment. It's a huge production. I mean, it's a very, very big undertaking for these full-length episodes. A lot of the feedback has been fantastic. I ran into Brent Spiner, who plays Data from the Next Generation at the airport in L.A., and he had even commented that he loved what he saw, and he talked to me about it at the airport. And so a lot of people are really enjoying it. So we're happy to have the support.
But the question is, does Vic Mignogna talk? Just like Captain Hook.
It's coming through NowCon. Yeah, he does a good Kirk. He's got it down.
Okay, so I will have to make fun of him for that when we have him on the show. So, guys, stay tuned because we're going to be busting Vic's chops about doing the essential Captain Kirk. But, yeah, people not liking this show, I find that highly illogical. And I'm doing the live long and prosper thing with my hand, and it kind of. You guys look really good, and with the hair, if I ask some advice, all you gotta do is find some way of getting those 3 stripes on the left side, and boom, instant Death the Kid cosplay.
And then bam. That's right.
Of course, the one thing we got to promote as part of the Summer of Biggerness 3 and the Road to Otakon is you're going to be at Otakon. So the question is, are you excited? Is there something that they need to check out? You know, one of the highlights that you're going to be involved in when they're at Otakon?
Well, I tell you, I love Otakon. Going there has been it's a wonderful convention. It's been a while since I've been there. We premiered Hetalia there last time, and so this is this would be a new year for me to head over there. And the Twitter fans got me up to a certain amount of followers. They met the challenge, so that's why I'll be cosplaying as Superman at the convention. We'll be involved in that. Also involved in Crisis Brawlers, which is the first video game made specifically for a convention. So this is a game made for Otakon. And so this is a big anniversary for them, and I'm happy to be there with a lot of great voice actors that everyone knows and loves. So catch me there. Come say hi, and we'll all hang out and have some crab cakes together.
Awesome. And of course, you know, the Altis Explosion is going to be there covering the convention itself. We're so excited. Our second year. And if there's any year you should go to Otakon, you want to go for the 20th anniversary. It's going to be big things popping, little things stopping. So sit back, enjoy the view, because Otakon is for otaku like me and you. Are there any new shows or projects that you're working on that you could tell us about?
The things that I'm working on, unfortunately, I can't talk much about. The things that spring to mind right now, of course, let's think. Eureka 7, I'm the villain in that, so I believe that's coming out soon. I'm also, I'm so trying to be so careful here about the things I can talk about. The Blue Exorcist movie. I've joined the cast of that movie. That's going to be cool. And what else can I talk about? I'm going through all the NDA contracts in my head. I'm like, can I talk about that? I think those are the only things I can mention right now, but there's a lot of stuff on the horizon.
That's okay, because we hear that the Blue Exorcist movie is going to be is pretty awesome, because you've got guys like you, Kyle Hebert, Kira Buckland, a.k.a. Rena-chan from the My Little Pony fandom, who has done stuff for the show, for our show as well. I mean, you've got a bunch. You got a bunch of the past, the present, and the future of voice actors, all in this one movie that's going to blow people right out of the theater. So I think it's going to be a very good movie.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's actually going to be playing in theaters for 2 nights only. The first night is August 17th. Check local listings to see when that'll be happening all over the country.
And we assume it'll be released on DVD shortly after that.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so I look forward to it. I'm happy to join that crew.
Okay, Todd, well, before we go, we have one final question. We'd like to ask all our voice actor guests this. A lot of our audience is theater and drama majors who, want to get their start in voice acting. So do you have any advice for those who do want to pursue a career in voice acting?
A career in voice acting? Well, if I had any advice for you, it would be to, Well, there's no set path. It's a different journey for every single person that does it. But my advice would be, if you sincerely have a desire to do it, and it's not just because you want to, you want the fame or whatever comes along with it, but you really, really have a passion for it, you will find a way to do it. And if you have a talent for it and a passion for it, the means to make it happen are out there. And just do your research and commit to it and make it happen, and it can.
You got to reach out there and you got to grab for that jugular vein. If you just sit back, not take any chances, you're never going to find out how far you can go in this life, my friend. And of course, Todd, that makes perfect sense right there. So of course, guys, check out Soul Eater Saturdays at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Toonami. Check out Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood a little shortly after that. Todd, we'll let you go now because, you gotta go back to being awesome. And hopefully at Otakon in the next 2 weeks, we can catch up with you and do that promo video to get Soul Eater's second season made. And I thank you so much for being on the program with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was I had a great time, and I apologize. My voice is a little shot from recording, but thank you for having me.
Well, guys, we'll see you down the road, and until next time, this is the Dennis Daniels Show saying, Pasta!